If you didn't have the opportunity to watch Psychopharmacology Part 1, you should go do that, because then this video will make a lot more sense. I want to talk to you about a few of the lyrics, just so you can wrap your mind around what I'm saying as truth. Think about the song Possessed. Prince saying, there's something in my body, why can't I control this satanic lust? Have you ever had the feeling that someone was tearing you up into itty-bitty pieces, contemplating selling you for a jigsaw puzzle? This is the song Slave from the Emancipation album, and he says in the lyrics, everyone keeps trying to break my heart, everyone except for me. I just want a chance to play the part of someone truly free. Slowly candle burns where they learn hypnosis. How'd they keep me under for so long?
Slowly candle burns where they learn hypnosis. How'd they keep me under for so long? Feel my world unravel. Hemisphere upon hemisphere lie beneath my soul.
I think I've been putting off making these parts of the video because I don't understand it thoroughly myself. I was shown certain things in the afterlife it's not like in a space place that I can just bring back readily and explain to you like I could my life growing up. It's not the same kind of awareness. You have to reach out for it and bring it back in order to explain it. So the things that I need to explain to you guys about why the psychopharmacology was being practiced on well, we know him as Prince Rogers Nelson, but he is the creator of the universe. And as our creator, the practices were done in order to bring out alter personalities and make him act in certain ways. And also there's very dark practices of like the song Possessed. The Illuminati started studying a long time ago in the 40s, 50s, 60s with, I talked about Fritz Springmeier. I read his work. He talks about the Mengele, the guy who was brought over, the torturer. They're studying human endurance and torture. The more the trauma, the more amnesia walls are built up and the more people tend to forget. And that's basically the MK Ultra or 3KKK practices of brainwashing. And Paisley Park was very isolated for a reason. It was gated and secure for a reason. And it goes way deeper than a lot of people are willing to take the time to examine. But again, the creator tells me and shows me some things, other things I find on my own. And finding this Fritz Springmeier, he talks a great deal about the Illuminati bloodlines and the way that they torture and their practices. It's really heinous and disgusting. It talks about, so many things I don't even want to mention. But the point is the D1X, which is D1X or Dick's. You can watch the video. Think about Dick's Sporting Good. All this stuff is programmed into our psyche because it's been practiced on us as a society, because if it works on the creator, it will work on his offspring creations. Maybe it's what they say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's where that comes from. So when I was in the afterlife, the creator and I walked and talked, and he showed me himself in a bunch of different images. One was the one we knew as Prince. One was very heavenly and on a throne, being carried by angels. One was just a soul. I recognized him initially as just a soul. He wasn't even in a form. And that's what I was brought to the life after death for, was to recognize him as just a soul, so that in this future time, which is now, I would recognize him when he talked to me. So I had to go back and think about what I was saying. I think what I was saying is, in the afterlife, he had told me that somehow with the breakdown of the United States, the music industry, somehow, some way, through religious order and cult, the Kingdom Hall and or the Pope, they're going to try to bring in this time that seems like or we're supposed to, I can't quite clearly remember, like a left behind, like we are the ones that are left behind, and they're going to try to frighten us into believing in them as opposed to our actual creator, because the thought of believing what I'm saying to some people seems so obscure because of the depth of the fallacy of religion that has been taught in our world, meaning because our world has been sold Jesus, the Christ, as the Savior, the Jewish man who came and went and didn't do anything for you, that New Testament was written by a collection of people who are reincarnated evil souls through time who wanted to sell you the delusional history of Jesus coming to save you so that you would rest your laurels, rest your soul on the fact that some other one dude was going to save you. Thereby, you don't have any accountability for yourself in the afterlife, for your own soul's correction. That's the truth. You have to correct your own soul, and that's what the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life, is all about. It's about the correcting paths to wisdom and the Creator. And when I was there in the afterlife, I was ascending that tree. I was learning things. I was meditating. I was using all the information, all the knowledge that I had sought. We shared. It was telepathic. It still is. And he told me that because of the soul that he put in me, I'm able to hear these things. I'm able to communicate them to you guys. So I feel kind of chosen. But it's cool. I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. So anyway, what I want to do so that nobody can say that our Truly was the bad guy is share with you some more tactics of psychopharmacology that they use, and why and how Prince showed them to us in his music. So we're going to talk about, for instance, When Doves Cry, all the mirrors. There's the flower programming. There's other programming that's something about looking into someone's eyes and saying, I want to melt with you. So two become one, like the twins. I've had to read all this investigative stuff about the Illuminati and, God forbid, about children killing children and things like that. And I put myself in kind of a numb place when I come here to talk about it, which is why I can smile. But if you could feel my heart and my stomach in knots right now, you would know that I'm not kidding. When you understand that he was trying to expose these things to us so that we would know, or more specifically me, because he told me in the life after that he had made me, we all have a soul purpose, and mine has been watching him like a hawk for 40 years, listening to the music and fulfilling my purpose and doing this. Again, I forgot what I was going to say, but the music was made, the gestures, the mannerisms, like I said, I'm going to show you how he showed us what he's told me and what I learned so that you can really wrap your feels around what I'm saying. Be encouraged to go watch the other videos. So let's carry on. The letters on some of this documentation that I'm going to share are really small. So again, I will include the link in the comment section, and the information is from Fritz Springmeier, talking about the Illuminati and the 13 bloodlines and their torture technique. So when I show you them, if you want to click on the link and read along, that's cool. It talks about who would want to carry out the mind control, Freemasonry, witchcraft. It talks about how they choose their candidates, how yes, in fact, human zombies are desired for controlling, and ultimately for possession, soul possession. Talks about doubles, lookalikes, twinning, Bush, possibly being a twin. Breeding good subjects for hypnosis. An extremely important factor for the subject of mind control is to have the emotional drive to pursue to its successful completion a given objective. Much like me, I was given this objective to share with you, and no one and nothing is going to stand in my way. And then I went and applied it all to what Andrew Kornfeld was doing, his history at Paisley Park, and how he had Suboxone, Ativan, and suppositories anal suppositories to make it so you wouldn't throw up on his person, and Schulenberg prescribed Percocet, Valium, Clonidine, and hydroxine. The media doesn't tell you these things. Cochlear implants. Think about the ear jewelry that Prince wore. Always wearing the ear cuff. But if you look closely at this picture, you can see that it appears that the ear cuff isn't there, but it looks only like burn marks because there's actually little wires in those that can electrocute like a cattle prod. So even though we see people out in public, superstars, singers, Britney Spears shaving her head, blowing up on the car with an umbrella, those things are controlled. It is deep, dark programming. And that's why when I passed in 2010, that's during the time when Prince is said to have had hip surgery, because when they go in for longer type programming, it'll be said that the person like had a car accident or something like that, I was reading. And then they can keep him out of the public eye for a little while. But the thing about Prince is in 2010, even though it's alleged that he had hip surgery, he went right back to performing. Yeah, somebody put on flats, but somebody who is 54 years old isn't going to have hip surgery and then go right back to performing. It's a 3 to 7 month recovery. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. What I want to do is stay focused on the ways that he showed us with the music and with the album designs and everything that he did, that these things that I'm saying are true. So we're going to look at the flower programming first. Again, the words are real small, so follow along. You might learn something. So obviously, Purple Rain has all the flowers, all the flower symbology around Paisley Park with the eye and everything else. How the programmers use the flower system, it says the system is attached to other systems and utilizes the power of peer pressure and generational ties. The flowers will often be bright. The bud of the flower will represent one person. The stem and the flower represent others. Flowers are also used as elevator shafts. Don't let the elevator bring you down. So if you've been a follower of Prince for 40 years like I have, or you listen to Chris Gaither, the former bodyguard, say that it was well known that Prince Rogers Nelson did not use the elevator because he called it the devil. That's why he sang in the song, Let's Go Crazy, are we going to let the elevator bring us down? Never going down the daisy chain, referring to being dead. There's also a double helix system. The helix pattern is also used as an elevator shaft running up and down the worlds that are created for the altars. And the double helix is put into programming sites where they have full medical facilities. These codes that they penetrate their minds with, they're alphanumeric. It's a lot of what's been done to me. But think about the occult symbol, the caudicus, that double helix with the snakes on the top. It's actually a Babylonian symbol, and that too is used for programming. And of course, I find it right after I was talking. So here is that symbol. It says, out of the Third World War would emerge a new religious system. The Third World War would have to be tailored to be like the Bible's Armageddon. Because if it resembled the Armageddon, then people would believe he was the Messiah when he came after its end. Again, it would be order out of chaos. And the reason I read that is because of the album Chaos and Disorder. I never really listened to that album as a fan. I never liked it. Here, the one world system is Satanism. It hides itself behind fronts such as Jewish financial socialism, Aryanism, British imperialism, Zionism, Freemasonry, which are tools to get the broad masses to serve the plan. The conspiracy to create the one world system has enlisted the help of almost everyone. That is because most of the religious systems at the top are controlled by Satanists who know what they are doing and direct the people's religious efforts. So my point is that they refer to it as the plan, and Prince has this song on the Emancipation CD. It's not a song, it's an instrumental called The Plan. It's very sad and very melancholy. He's always bringing our attention to these things, always. The song, I Want to Melt With You, there's another program called the Melting Pot Program. A very powerful program is activated by melting the slave into the master. There's that, and then there's the mirror system that he used on When Doves Cry.
Why